guys, Just Ash here, and welcome to my beginner's guide to fighting games. Now, let me preface this by saying straight away that I am in no way a video game expert or a fighting game expert or an expert on anything, but this is just a little collection of tips and advice that I wish I had known when I first started playing fighting games. So the first thing I would recommend is trying as many fighting games as you can. This way you can find out exactly what it is that you like in a fighting game, whether you like a faster paced game like Dragon Ball FighterZ or a slower paced game like Tekken. However, once you've tried all of the fighting games, I definitely recommend sticking to one to improve your skills. This way, because a lot of skills are transferable between fighting games, when you decide to move on to another game, you only have to focus on learning the timing and specific mechanics, rather than starting again from scratch every time you start a new game. Also, if the game you've chosen has a tutorial mode or a here is the absolute basics of this game mode, I do that. It is so helpful and it will save you a hell of a lot of stress and time and effort later on down the line. Some good beginners fighting games are things like Dragon Ball FighterZ, Tekken and Street Fighter. So once you've chosen a game that you are happy with, jump into the training mode and try out all of the characters. This way you get a feel for how they all play, and you can work out what characters you like, what characters you dislike, and what characters' playstyle you will enjoy playing. And if your game has a story mode or a campaign mode like Mortal Kombat X that allows you to try all of the characters, do that as well. It never takes very long, and again, it just gives you a bit more exposure and experience with all of the characters. Plus, this allows you to work out exactly what playstyle works for you. There are a few different playstyles that you'll see mentioned in the fighting game community, and I'm going to go over a couple of the main archetypes later on in this video. But just remember that no character has to be played a specific way. The character archetypes are just there to let you know what sort of playstyle the character has and what their moveset is best suited for. So, a few of the most common playstyles you'll see are zoners, grapplers, and rushdown characters. Zoners like Sagat and Deadshot from Injustice 2 are characters that focus on controlling the space between themselves and the opponent with long-range moves and projectiles. These guys are also called keep-away characters. Then you've got grapplers like Zangief from Street Fighter and Taiga from BlazBlue. These guys focus on getting up close and personal with the opponent to deal high amounts of damage. And you'll also find that these guys have much higher health than other characters to compensate for the fact they have to get so close to an opponent in order to deal any decent damage. And finally, you have rushdown characters. These are characters like Cammy from Street Fighter and Fox from Smash Bros. These guys are all about keeping the pressure on your opponent. They are usually the most highly mobile and fastest characters on the roster. Be aware though, there are characters out there in every fighting game that will have elements from multiple archetypes within their own moveset. For example, Alex again from Street Fighter, and I don't know why I'm using Street Fighter for all of my examples because it is not a game that I play very much, but you know, it's all out there on the internet, it's really easy to get a hold of all this information. But anyway, Alex has elements of both zoners and grapplers in his character moveset, which is something you should be aware of when you're trying out characters. Now, if you truly want to hone your skills, you do need to practice. Getting good at a fighting game is a bit like taking up a sport or learning a musical instrument. You have to put in the hours. You'll never be good at it first time. So, make sure you jump into training mode, you practice your combos until you can hit them reliably every single time. It is no good learning to hit them just once, because you want them to be muscle memory so you can do them without thinking when you're reacting to an opponent. Of course, and I know everyone says this, the best way to get good, in big old air quotes, at a fighting game is to fight real people, either in local co-op or online. And this is because it really does expose you to a myriad of different ways that the game can be played. It's much better than fighting a computer because humans are more unpredictable and will do things that you aren't expecting and will need to react to. Further to this, you are going to want to play as many different people and characters as you can. Again, this is because it will expose you to more scenarios and allow you to be able to plan for them if they're going to happen again in the future. And if you're truly serious about getting good at fighting games, you need to make an effort to learn what startup and recovery frames are. Basically, startup frames are like the wind up to a punch, where you've committed to a move but haven't hit anything yet and can't hit anything yet. These are typically quite short throughout all games and characters. Recovery frames come after a move and are where you can't do anything else. These will vary from game to game, character to character, and even move to move. But generally speaking, the more powerful the move is, the longer the recovery will take. It's also worth noting that you usually can't do anything else during startup or recovery, like blocking or choosing a different move. And finally, learn what a jump cancel is, because they are so handy. Basically, what a jump cancel is where you use a jump to cancel the startup frames or the recovery frames of a move. So you can do a different move and it gives you so much more combo opportunities. I went for so long without knowing what a jump cancel was, and once I worked out how to do them, my game's improved by like 1,000 times over. However, be careful, because not every fighting game uses this mechanic, so you do need to just be wary to make sure the game you're playing lets you do jump cancels. And that's it for my beginner's guide to fighting games. I really hope you guys have found this video helpful, or at the very least it is helping you feel more confident on your journey with fighting games. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you have any further fighting game advice, feel free to leave that in the comments down below. And as always, you can join me next Friday at 8 for another video.